Russia's recent sharpening of its nuclear doctrine has sent a dire warning to the West as the Ukraine conflict escalates. Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko, a close ally of Vladimir Putin, was quick to comment on the shift, stating that it was long overdue. In a televised interview, Lukashenko claimed that the updated doctrine has likely tempered the ardor of Western powers, particularly NATO, as they debate whether to supply Ukraine with long-range missiles. He emphasized that this nuclear posture was designed to curb the West's aggressive stance towards Russia. Lukashenko's endorsement was expected, as Belarus had already agreed to host Russian tactical nuclear weapons. He bluntly stated that without Russia's nuclear deterrence, Western missiles would already be bombing us, underscoring the critical role of Moscow's nuclear stance in safeguarding Belarus.
Hotheads in the West had already heard the nuclear signals being sent by Moscow, even before the Kremlin leader announced the changes last month. The change to the nuclear doctrine probably cools their ardor.
Putin's doctrine shift, announced in September, expanded the conditions under which Russia could deploy nuclear weapons, including large-scale cross-border attacks with conventional strikes. Any assault supported by a nuclear power would be treated as a joint offensive, addressing ongoing debates in Washington and London over arming Ukraine with deep strike capabilities.
The conditions for Russia's transition to the use of nuclear weapons are also clearly stated. We will consider this possibility upon receiving reliable information about a massive launch of air and space attack weapons and their crossing of our state border. We reserve the right to use nuclear weapons in the event of aggression against Russia and Belarus as a member of the Union state.
NATO has remained resolute in the face of Moscow's nuclear posturing. Shortly after Putin's announcement, NATO launched its long-planned Steadfast Noon nuclear exercise, which involved over 60 aircraft and personnel from 13 countries.
The annual nuclear exercise Steadfast Noon will start on Monday. We will have more than 60 aircraft involved in training sessions. The whole exercise will particularly focus on the United Kingdom, the North Sea, but also Belgium and the Netherlands. And in an uncertain world, it is vital that we test our defense and that we strengthen our defense so that our adversaries know that NATO is ready and is able to respond to any threat.
As tensions mount over missile provisions for Ukraine, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky accused Russia of nuclear blackmail and urged the West to ignore Putin's so-called red lines. Moscow, meanwhile, warned that allowing Ukraine to use US ATACMS or British Storm Shadow missiles could lead to direct conflict with NATO. Despite the rising nuclear rhetoric, NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte reaffirmed the alliance's unwavering support for Kyiv. From NATO's Ukraine mission in Wiesbaden, he declared, "Ukraine will prevail." NATO's commitment remains firm, despite Russia's nuclear threats, signaling that the conflict may soon escalate.